From this diagram, we can take a look at the process of leasing. There are four parties involved in this process. The first one is lessor. Lessor is a financial company or a financing institution. Maybe the name that will cross on your mind maybe like Adira, FEF, etc. While the lessee here is a party that needs to be funded by the lessor. And then there is a supplier. Supplier is the producer of the capital goods that needed by the lessee. And the bank is the banking institution. The process of leasing is started with procedure number 1. Take a look at the procedure number 1. Here you can see that the lessee goes to the supplier. So the party that need the fundraise, they go to the supplier to take a look at the machine. Let's say this is the story about the machine. So your company need a machine for production, but you don't have enough money to buy the machine. So you choose to follow the procedure of leasing. So you go to the supplier, which is the producer of the machine. So you try to take a look at the options of machine that provided by the supplier, and then you choose one. After you confirm, then you can go to the lessor. So the lessee goes to the lessor as the financing company. So you tell the lessor what you want. That you need a machine to develop your production in your company. And in this process, this is process number 2. There will be some negotiation between lessee and lessor, including about the term of payment, about the duration of the leasing, and etc. And then there will be a commitment letter here, which is the process number 3. In this commitment letter, both parties would make an initial consensus about what they want to engage in. And number 4 is the process of the signing of the contract. So, because we already learned about contract law, so start from this four process. Number 4, there has been right and obligation for the both parties because this is the contract. So number 2, number 3, and number 4. You can see there, this is two sides relationship. So it's a contract, a balanced negotiation. Both parties has good positions to discuss and negotiate the terms and conditions. After the procedure number 4 is accomplished, then the lessor, after get the confirmation from the lessee about the goods, about the terms and conditions of the payment and the leasing, the lessor will go to the supplier to buy the machine or another capital goods that your company needs. From this procedure number 5, we can see that lessor goes to the supplier to buy the machine. Once again, lessor goes to the supplier to buy the machine. So who is the owner of the machine? The lessor. So the lessor owns the machine. This is process number 5. So the lessor pay for the machine, so they become the owner of the machine. And after the lessor make confirmation to the supplier about the machine, then the supplier deliver the object to the lessee. But remember, though the supplier deliver the object to the lessee, it's not the personal belongings of the lessee. It belongs to the lessor. So then the supplier deliver the object, and the supplier at the process number 7, they give the documents regarding the purchasing of the machine to the lessor. And then, after the number 7 process accomplished, then the lessor would finish the payment. After that, so the payment is here is process number 8. So after that, here start the process of leasing. So number 9 is the process of payment from lessee to the lessor. What does the lessee pay to the lessor? The leasing payment. What is leasing again? Lease to the business. So here the lessee leases the machine from the lessor to the business. So the lessee uses the machine, but the machine is owned by the lessor. So the lessee uses the machine of the lessor in form of renting, but it's not just a renting, but it's called leasing because it's in the form of providing capital goods for business. So what is the position of bank here? You can see the existence of a bank is optional. That's why at the diagram the position of the relations to the bank is provided with the dot lines. The dot lines here means it's optional. In what case the bank will be involved in the leasing mechanism? So the bank will be involved in case that the lessor also need to be supported by additional money to purchase the object. So here the lessor also make a credit relationship to the banks to give them some fundraise to buy the machine, for example. So here the lessor would pay some credit installment to the bank, and the bank will pay the money to the supplier. So that's the 9 mechanism of leasing that you have to understand. So leasing is different with just fundraise for personal consumption. Leasing is for business and in order to provide the capital goods. At the beginning of this part 2, I have delivered you that there are 2 kind of leasing mechanism. The first one is finance lease. In finance lease, at the end of the period of the leasing, then the lessee has a right to purchase the object by paying the rest value of mutual agreed. Here the lessee would pay more than just the regular installment as an action to take over the object from the lessor. The result of this system is at the end of the period of leasing, the object now would be the property of the lessee. The second type is operating lease. Even with the finance lease, in operating lease, there is no option to buy the object after the duration of leasing is finished. So if you are a company who need a machine and you make an engagement with the leasing company for 5 years, so the lessor here, the leasing company will buy the machine and he will list it to you. So you lease the machine from the lessor, you are the lessee. So the lessor here is the financing company. So you list it for 5 years. After 5 years, then the contract of the leasing is finished. So you as the lessee have to give the machine back to the lessor. So then the financing company would now authorize and can use the machine for himself, or the company could list it to another party, because now the duration of the leasing is finished. So the object should be returned back to the owner, and the owner here is the lessor. finance lease or operating lease system, it's all would be consented in the leasing contract. That is why understanding contract is very essential for you to understand every types of business activities. In this case, to understand about business law, for sure you have to understand about contract. Here are some examples of leasing company in Indonesia. Of course, there are more than this, but those are some familiar actors in leasing business in Indonesia. This would be the end of the part 2, and we will continue the discussion to the next part. Thank you.